Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 45. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching. And as always, thanks for sharing your time with me. I truly appreciate it. Time really is our most valuable gift. And I love that you're sharing yours with me. So here we are, team. If you're here in the United States listening to this, we just wrapped up the 4th of July holiday. And again, it's just breakneck speed. We're headed into the second half of the year. And so many things can happen and are possible in the last half of the year, even if, for whatever reason, whatever business you're in, you might be behind goal. There is so much possibility and potential as to what can happen to you and your business and your life in the second half of the year. But here's what I've noticed and what I want to talk about with you today. As humans, we tend to really judge ourselves harshly. And for some of us, we may be sitting here. This is first week in July, headed into the second week tomorrow. And we might be really judging ourselves on our performance, what we did or didn't do, how far behind we are on goal. How did this happen? We can spend some time in a space of judgment. And I've heard this before, and I just love getting this reminder that no one judges you as harshly as you judge yourself. I want you to think about that for a minute. I really do. I want you to sit and think, if you have a spouse, a best friend, a significant other, a coach, a mentor, when you do something that doesn't get you to goal or you didn't do the activities that you committed to do, whether it's in your life, your marriage, your business, whatever it is, and you've got someone in your corner who is there to support you. Again, it could be a coach, a mentor, a friend, whatever it is, and you are sharing what didn't happen. Would you ever, and I hope the answer is no, would you ever expect your coach or your mentor to just shake their head at you in disgust and judge you? I would hope not. And yet, a lot of times, and I say this to some of my really high-producing coaching clients, I don't have to say anything to make you feel any worse than what you've just said to yourself that makes you feel like you're feeling. And I do believe we tend to do that more when we're in a negative space or deficit of our goal. And this comes up a bit when we are bringing on a new client, whether it's starting a new group program or it's starting a new partnership with a one-on-one client of ours. It comes up a bit when we ask someone to describe or share with me what's going on in their business. And this is what I've noticed. And this is why I think it's really important for us today to take a peek behind the curtain and see if we need to change some things in our personal life and our business. What I have noticed is that it is really easy for the client to be really fired up, pretty high level intention and emotion, and share everything that is wrong with their business or their life. Everything. And if I were to allow it without controlling the conversation or without doing some type of a pattern interrupt to get that to stop, because that is so unhealthy, I guarantee you they would continue down a path and share nothing but negative and everything that is wrong. And what's really fascinating is when I will ask them to stop for a moment and share with me the good. Share with me the great things that are happening in your business. And what I've noticed is that sometimes there's a really long pause. There's times where I hear there's nothing good. Everything is terrible. And I don't believe that. I don't believe it for a second. I do not believe that there is not a morsel of good. I just don't. We've just conditioned our brains to focus so much on what's not working. And that's okay to learn from that. Yet what we do not do a very good job of is to take a step back and say, you know what? I didn't hit my goal this week, this month, this quarter, whatever it is. And Here's what I did great. This is what I did that did help me. This is what I did that I can be proud of. And we go for such long stretches of time without doing that, that it does feel impossible to come up with even one or two things that you could be proud of, or that we could agree that were great things in your business or your life. And this is what I love. And this is the power of coaching, because, people enter into our programs when they realize that they need a third party. They need somebody who is not in the business with them to help them see and find their way. And my fear is not everybody has a coach. Not everybody has a mentor. Not everybody has someone who will give them that nudge to redirect them to focus on some really powerful things that they're doing. And it's humbling and amazing when the person finally can say, you know what? This is what I do that I'm proud of. This is what I do that I really am grateful that I know how to do. And I have the skill set to do it. You can see an energy shift, and it's almost reversed. And this is what's so bizarre to me. There's a pride or an energy or I'm going to tell you this so I can validate what's going on. There's just this oddity when we're focused on the bad that is almost the energy that should be used when we focus on the good. And when we flip the script and we ask someone to share with us the good, it's almost as if their tone comes down. They get a little bit more reserved. I don't want to say embarrassed, but it's almost like very humble, which is okay, but there's a lack of energy. And that's, to me, one of the most dangerous things that can be happening to you right now in your business. I always say, what you focus on, you get more of, right? What you pay attention to pays attention back to you. What you focus on expands. However you want to wordsmith that, go for it. And when we get into this space of everything bad, everything bad, everything bad, right? If it is true, and it is, that what you pay attention to pays attention back, or what you focus on expands, it makes perfect sense how we can be 99% focused on all of the terrible things and maybe 1% focused on the good, because what you pay attention to gets bigger. So I just want to bring this to your attention that are you, even when we're not hitting our goal, taking a moment to acknowledge what you did that you could be proud of, that what you did that you feel comfortable and confident with, that is the right thing. And all the other stuff, the failures, if you will, or the things that you're judging yourself on, are really just opportunities for us to learn. That's it. They're just opportunities for us to take that feedback and to do something with it. But that's, again, another massive disconnect in this situation. When you are judging yourself so harshly, it's almost like there's a level of, it's not enjoyment, but it's a level of, I deserve this. And we just stay in that space of, everything's wrong. Everything's wrong. I'm an idiot. I can't believe I didn't do that. I can't believe I'm not hitting goal. I can't believe I'm having financial issues. I can't believe. And the biggest tragedy in all of that is to not take the wins from the fail, but just to focus on everything that didn't go the way that you wanted it to. So I'm going to invite you, if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, leader, parent, aunt, or uncle, just stop and look. And if you feel that you're judging yourself pretty harshly, ask yourself, when is the last time I made a list of all of the great things that I do? All of the positive things that are present in my life. And if I give that the majority of my attention in terms of acknowledgement, if the law is what you focus on expands, wouldn't it make sense that we would get more positive if we flipped the script and gave the positive more attention than the negative? Now, again, I say this with the knowledge of failure is feedback. And so it's not like we're just going to totally ignore the stuff that isn't working, totally ignore the negative. That's not what I mean. What I mean is giving great attention to the energy, the excitement, the attitude that you have when you're looking at the negative towards positive, and then start listing out the things that aren't working and look for the wins in it. What do I need to change? That is probably one of the biggest things that I've noticed. And here's what I know to be true. Like, I said 99-1, right? 99% of the time we spend focused on the bad and 1% on the good, or 99% of the time we're judging ourselves really poorly, harshly, right? 1% maybe not. And here's what I know. There is more right with you in your business than there is wrong. But we get so lost in the weeds of the wrong and I'm failing and what I'm not achieving that we forget that there is more right with you than there is wrong. And I think that's really important for you to remember in business and in life. There's more right than wrong. Again, it's dependent upon where you're giving your energy. So look at what's right. Pay attention to what's right. Spend some time in that space. Life in business is 50-50, right? 50% great, 50% not great. And I say this all the time. It's kind of like happy, sad. I wouldn't know happy if I didn't know sad. I wouldn't know sad if I didn't know happy. Individually, right? Just 100% happy, you don't know what that really means anymore. So I feel like it's the same thing in life and business. 50% is not going to be so great, and 50% of it's going to be amazing. And it's finding that acknowledgement of the fact that is just the normal rhythm of business and life. The other thing that I wanted to share with you today that I want you to really think about, again, when we're taking on part of our onboarding process or, bringing on a new partner in the coaching relationship or in a group program, is when we ask people what they do want, so many people don't even know that. They don't think they know that, right? They're like, I don't know. And I dislike the question, well, if you did know, okay, I don't, right? But here's what I'd like to do. In that moment, and this is again just a function of the brain, don't know why, don't know how, it just is. When we're asked what we want, sometimes we really struggle with that. But if I asked you what you don't want or what you don't want to be or what you don't want your business to be, boom. It is like a rapid fire of things that you don't want. And so sometimes knowing what you don't want is almost more important than what you do want. Because what's the opposite of what you don't want? It's what you do want, right? I don't want to struggle financially. Okay, great. So what do you want? Well, I want the financial ability to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, with who I want to do it. Okay, that's really what you do want. But you might not be able to get there until you discover what you don't want. And that is such a powerful exercise to spend some time in this space. If you're really struggling with saying, okay, what do I want? What do I want next in my life? What do I want next in my business? And you cannot come up with it. Don't ignore it. Ask yourself what you don't want and get to writing and really write it all out. It's one of my favorite things to do with the newer client or with a client who we've reached a goal and we're looking at what are we going to do next, is to spend some time in this space, because the power of what you do want sometimes lies in what you don't want. And again, that's something that I don't think that we give enough attention to or energy to. It's like, spend some time in that space, because the clearer we can be on what we want, and want's not a great word. It's a bit of coming from a space of lack in a way. But honestly, spending some time in that space can truly unlock for you what direction you can give to your brain on here's where we're going to go. When I live in a space of unknown of what I want, your brain's like, I don't know what to do here. I don't have a GPS. I don't have a map. I don't have any clear direction from you, the conductor. So I'm going to take over and just do whatever I feel I can do that would protect you. And that protection sometimes comes in the form of distraction, comes in the form of doubt. Don't do that. Don't do that. You might fail. So let's just go back to doing what we've always done, because I haven't gotten any other instructions from you. So I'm just going to focus on what I know. The brain's amazing. I learned this from one of my favorite coaches, is that we live still with our primitive brain. And our brain thinks its biggest job is to protect. And so if you cannot instruct it on what you do want, it's going to protect you and just do what you've always done. And then we get frustrated that we didn't break through, we didn't hit a new goal, we don't know what we want to do next. So spend some time gaining clarity. One of my favorite things to ask someone is, are you crystal clear? Not cloudy clear, not somewhat clear, crystal clear. And I liken it to, let's say, you live in a city that has snow or a lot of rain and some dirt. And, it's kind of hard to see out of the windshield when you're driving, but you can still see. It's probably not the safest, but you can still see and you can still drive and function. And then you go get your car washed. And as you're leaving the car wash, you get in the car and you have a moment of, holy cow, this is what it's like to have a windshield that's crystal clear. And I'm able to really see the pothole. I'm really able to see the warning sign, the flashing yellow caution. I'm able to see the car that's cutting in front of me much, much clearer, and I can respond to it in a better manner. That's the same thing with our brain. So having abundant clarity, crystal clear, really gives your brain help in navigating what to do next. Now, it still may be fighting you a little bit to protect you from doing something different, something bigger, yet at least you've given it a direction and a path forward. So those two things, team, spend some time focused on what you do well. Really, really spend the time. Human nature is to want to fix. So let's just focus on everything that's wrong. That's just kind of our human nature. And it's not healthy. It's not going to get you to the next place. It's going to hold you back. It's like running in place or running with weights on your feet. It's going to hold you back because you're not clear on what you did really well that can motivate you and create a different focus for you to get more of the things that go well, or to do things that weren't going so well and all of a sudden they're working well. So spend some time focused on what you're doing at a really high level, what you're doing that works, what it is, whatever it is, acknowledge and celebrate it. Celebrate the little things because those will help you get out of the space of focused on the negative. And then the last thing is, do you know what you want? Are you really clear on what you do want? And if you're not, ask yourself the simple question, what don't I want? I don't want to be unhealthy, right? I don't want to continue to live in the space that I live in. I don't want to not have a bigger life. Spend some time in what you don't want, because the opposite of what you don't want is what you do want. And that can glean some clarity for you. Again, crystal clear on where you are headed. So I just really, really love this topic. And it's one that we don't talk about enough. And as a coach, I will tell you, a lot of times I have to point out to a client, hey, remember 6 months ago? Remember 9 months ago? Remember last week? Look at what you've done that has moved the needle forward, whether that's on happiness, whether it's on finances, whatever it is. So if you don't have a coach, I'm going to invite you to get one. If for whatever reason you have a coach that only focuses on your bad and what you haven't done well, I'm going to invite you to maybe think about getting a different one, because we are hard enough on ourselves. Remember, no one judges you as harshly as you do. And please remember, there's more right with you than there's wrong with you. Why we think maybe the opposite is because what we're giving our energy and attention to. So as always, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. Happy to help you out. Join us in our group coaching programs if you want to experience what it's like to be in a coaching environment and maybe you're not quite ready for one-on-one. If you're thinking this would be the time to have a one-on-one customized coaching program for you, consider joining us as a one-on-one coaching partner. We'd love to have you. Of course, we'll have a strategy session with you and just figure out what your right step forward would be, whether it's a group program or it's one-on-one. And if for whatever reason we're not the right fit, I have a ton of coach friends that I could direct you to the right coach, because at the end of the day, we want you to be in a healthy partnership. And I say that, and I want you to think about something. I want you to be in a healthy partnership with a coach, but I really want you to be in a healthy partnership with self. That's probably one of the best gifts that you can give to you. A coach is going to help you get there quicker. So if you have questions or concerns, reach out to me, Tony@rethinkcoaching.com. Instagram, Tony M, like Martin. Caliendo is my Instagram. You can direct message me there. Find me on Facebook, Google me, get my cell phone information. Don't care, whatever you need or however you need to get a hold of me. and ask for clarity or get some more guidance on this, please do. Always, always, always happy to grab a free 1-hour call with anyone that is needing some additional clarification or understanding of any of the podcast or things that we're talking about. So I appreciate you all being here. Go celebrate some of your wins. I promise you, it will make a world of difference in your day, in your week, in your month, in your quarter, in your year. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you next week. Take care. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.